Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know who it is. It's your boy JoJo McCray. I'm here again today, back alone. Tremel is at work, so I'm back by myself. So we could have a good time on Friyay. Not Friday, but Friyay, because the weekend starts. And it's going to be a good one because I said so. So get on up in here. Get on up in here. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. Because you know me. I start on time. I start on time. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for y'all to come on up in here. Hey, Monica. How you doing, boo? How you doing? I know you at work, so you in the bushes, but I know you here at the same time. I know you here at the same time. Y'all, I have one more physical therapy to go. I know that's right. I know that's right. I have one more physical therapy treatment to go, and then that is it because they feel that I'm to the point where I could just do things by myself and my leg will go from there. The hospital didn't make me an appointment with an orthopedic doctor, so I actually had my doctor do that. So I have that appointment on the 19th, and hopefully all goes well with that. Hopefully all goes well. My knee is still a little bit swollen, but nothing like it was when I came home. I can move way better than I could when I came home. So that is a blessing, and I am happy. Thank you for sharing, Monica. I am happy. Y'all have no idea what it's like. You know, we take things that we do every day for granted until we can't do them no more. And you don't think about walking because walking is just something that you do. You get up and go where you want to go. But when you can't do it, you be like, "Oh my god, I want to just get up and walk." And like now that I've lost the 30 pounds, it's like I do want to get up and go outside and walk and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, she told me today that that would be a good idea. Just don't, of course, don't go too far. And because they don't want me to fall again. And just don't go too far and stuff like that. Which that sounds like a good idea. I just got to get some tennis balls to go on the back of this walker, which I'll probably do that tomorrow because Tremella's off tomorrow and Sunday because he has been working every day this week except Tuesday. But we both had doctor's appointments on Tuesday. So it was like he was at work. So he's off on the weekend. So we will probably do something over the weekend. Um, and what we're going to do, well, I know I'm going to pick up my other pair of glasses because they've been ready, but I just couldn't get there to get them. And see, stuff like that drives me crazy because it's like, damn, if I could get up and just go, I could have dropped him off at work, went and got my glasses and picked him up on his way home. But because that's not really in the cards, even though Tuesday I was going to try to drive because I probably can drive, but I was like, nah, let me give it a little bit more time. But I want to go pick up my other glasses because I went to America's Best and got two new pairs of glasses. So I want to go do that. So I know we're going to do that tomorrow. And we'll probably go to Jersey Mike's because y'all know if I'm in that area, I have to get me some Jersey Mike's because that steak sandwich is everything. When I tell y'all it's everything, it is everything. If you have never been to Jersey Mike's, you have got to go to Jersey Mike's. All their sandwiches are the bomb. But that steak and cheese, baby, it is the answer. When I tell you it is the answer, it is the answer. And Tremel, hey, Auntie Pee Wee. And Tremel is the one that got me hooked on that. Because we went and I got me a cold sandwich with like, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called, but it has like a bunch of different cold cuts on it, like Italian cold cuts and cheese, and it's really good. But he had that steak and cheese sandwich, and it was just smelling like, oh, it was just smelling up the car. And I'm like, Tremel, I said, the next time we go there, I need that. And the next time we actually were in the area was when I got out of the hospital. So we went there. And when I tell you I lit into that sandwich, child. Who have glasses, Monica? You or Jayla? It's gonna be you or Jayla. Thank you, Auntie Pee Wee. My progress is really fast, so I really don't want to push it because, like, my leg when I stand up, it's still a little weak. It don't shake as much, and they're like surprised that it can hold as much weight as it can. Because though I lost 30 pounds, I'm still a big man, so they're surprised that it can hold as much weight. Like in the hospital, they told me don't even think about walking till November, December. But as you see from what I say, I can walk now. So I still have to use the walker. And she had me because the physical therapist came early today. Because yesterday, when I told y'all the physical therapist came, it was actually Tremel coming home on a break. But I thought it was her because I know she was supposed to come yesterday, but she ended up coming this morning. And she had me like in the kitchen. Hey, stories on the steps. She actually had me in the kitchen. Jayla, I bet she look cute in them glasses too. Hey, Roxanne. She had me in the kitchen and she told me like to leave the walker on the side and hold the counter and walk around the counter in the sink. And I did it. And I was surprised because I was like, wow. She was like, you can walk. She was like, don't try it yet by yourself and going outside. She said, but try this and keep doing this. And I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie. I was shocked that I could walk without the walker. So that was like amazing that I did that because it's been times when I get up and like go to the bathroom or get up and go to the kitchen and my knee is like wobbly. So I've never tried to really walk without the walker. But when she had me like kind of holding on to the sink with my left hand, and hey, Melissa, hey, babe, I hope everything is going well. Melissa, my heart goes out to you and your family. Love you. And we are praying for you. And you definitely have our condolences. But yeah, it is amazing. I'm just amazed that I lost 30 pounds. Child, that's the part. I'm like, child, I gotta keep going. So I'll lay here and be starving and won't eat nothing because I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm gonna lose another 10 by the time I go back to the doctor. I'm like, I'm not gaining another pound. Hey, Trisha. I'm like, I'm not gaining another pound. It's not going to happen. I know, babe. I'm not gaining another pound. So, because this is what I wanted to do and it happened. So, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do to keep up the good work? Because I know me. I know me, and I know that I will lay here and starve my damn self so that I don't gain another pound. And I don't, man, I did this whole bag wrong today. Oh well, you can't win all the time. You can't win all the time. Hey, Uncle. Yes, but it is Friday, not Friday. Friday. What do y'all want to talk about? I think we should talk about the fact that Wendy Williams postponed her show again. Like, I think Wendy Williams has a lot of demons that she needs to fix before she comes back on TV. And honestly, at this point, I really think she needs to bow out gracefully. I think she needs to bow out gracefully and just don't come back. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I've read a story where her son told her that if she didn't get help, he wasn't coming around her anymore. As a parent, I'm not a parent. I don't have any kids, but I feel uh, drug addiction is deeper than that. I know as a child you feel, well, let me give her an ultimatum, and you know that let me give her an ultimatum and she'll choose me over the drugs. But a lot of times kids get in their feelings because the drug is stronger than the parents' love for them, and they don't understand why they would choose the drug over them. Hey, Antoine. But at the same time, oh, it's hard because I when I heard he told her that he wasn't going to be in her life until she did what she was supposed to do. I get it, but at the same time, I feel for him because, hey, Tracy, I feel for him because if he don't, uh, YouTube stories on the steps. Thanks for coming in on your break. I think, I think his her son is not looking at the big. Little Kev is not looking at the bigger picture. She's been totally embarrassed in front of everybody. Everything she has said about everybody literally played out on TV for us to see happen to her. And I think he doesn't realize it's more than just the drugs. It's like Auntie Pee Wee said. It's the depression. It's her being alone. It's her. I think it's a whole lot of things involved other than just. I think she does the drugs, of course, to come out of her reality. That's why most people do drugs, to come out of the reality that they're in and live in this fantasy for however long they stay high. But I think that uh, I feel for her, even though all the shit she talk about people and how she talks about people, I feel for her because one thing we never do. Who was at my front door? One thing we never do is think about the fact that one day the shit we talk can all be about us. The fun we make fun of people, we say things about people, and it could always be end up being about us. I know because it's happened to me. I have called people bums. I have called people less than because they didn't have a car or they weren't quote unquote at the time what I felt on my level. And okay, that's fine. You should have went and got me a snack. Can you do that? Can you go to the gas station? Hold on, y'all. Tramel just came home real quick on his break. You got the text message, don't you? Read it. I'm loud. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
But can you give me some snaps and some of them Hostess cupcakes with the little swirl and a Coke? Huh? Okay. But yeah, I think Wendy is just I feel for her because, like I was saying, I'm sorry, y'all, because that's what I was actually saying was I have called people bums because they didn't have a place to stay or they were trying to get with me and I just felt they weren't on my level. And then back in 2016, when I lost everything that I had and I felt like I became who I talked about. And it just was bad for me because I'm like, oh my God, I've become the bum I've talked about. I've become this bum. And then I had to sit in myself and say, well, I'm still the same person without all with these trinkets and these toys and these, clothes and all the things that I lost. it didn't take away from me as a person. I just don't have these things anymore. And it was a learning experience for me because it showed me that people really was my friends for these things that I had, not because they wanted to get to know me, not because of who I was as a person, but because of the little trinkets that I had. And I think with Wendy, that's what she's going through, that she's become the people that she's talked about. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. That's like a real hard pill to swallow, that you have become the people. Tramel. Oh, never mind. You got it. I'll wait till you get out. She has become the people that she has talked about. And like Trisha said, I think she needs therapy. If she doesn't see a therapist, I just see it's just a spiraling downward, just gonna be like an avalanche. The longer she waits, the worse it's gonna get. And right, right, Monica, she's using the drugs as a coping mechanism because, like I said, when you do drugs, it's taking you out of your reality. And mentally you're not in that space. But once the drugs wear off, you go back into that space. So then you do the drugs again. And that's how people get addicted, because using it as a coping mechanism, once they're not high no more, I'm back to reality. So let me go back to being high. So, I think it's a lot. And I do feel for her. I feel for her only because at one point in my life I was her, with the talking about people and discrediting people, and then I became those people, and it's not a fun place to sit in. It really is not. It's not a fun place to sit in. But when you sit in that place, you really have to sit and discover yourself and realize who you are and what you want and what you're going to do and how you're going to fix you. And I don't think she's come to that reality yet. I really don't like her get down. It's messy, but it takes all kind to make the world go round. She needs help from various angles out of the public, despite of right. I agree, Melissa. I agree because she's definitely an attention seeker. Um, and I think she was trying to be like Howard Stern, but I think the difference between her and Howard Stern was he didn't really care what people thought about him. He didn't care what people said about him. He was going to do what he wanted to do and say what he wanted to say and keep it moving. She, on the other hand, did care what people thought about her and did care what people said about her, even though she pretended like she didn't. And there's a big difference. Like, there are those of us who scream, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, but really we care. And then there are those of us that scream, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, and we don't care. And a lot of people that say they don't care really do care. They won't show you that, but when they get behind closed doors, it's fucking with them. It is fucking with them completely, everything you said or anything anybody said. And, I just think that she's one of those people that pretended like she didn't care, but she did. She cared a lot about what people thought about her. She cared a lot about what people were saying about her. And now, because she's destroyed or tried to destroy so many people, they don't care. They're sitting back and saying, this is what you get, this is what you deserve, because you shouldn't have did the things that you did. Do I blame them? No, I don't. Um, can they have a little bit more sympathy for her? They could, but knowing the type of person that I am, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. If she, you know, talked about me or talked about my marriage or talked about my husband and sat and said, "Oh, it ain't gonna last. They're gonna this and they're gonna that," and then I wouldn't care either. And I'm not gonna lie. So I don't feel sorry for her that these celebrities don't care, because what did you expect was going to, what did you think was going to happen? And I think that's another thing that's bothering her, that all these people can now sit around and laugh at her and talk about her, and that again bothers her, because Wendy Williams cares. Wendy Williams is a cancer. Cancers are very sensitive. Cancers care about everything and everybody around them. They can be mean. I ain't even gonna lie. They could be real mean, and the shit that come out their mouth is a little fucked up. But when it come down to them and how you do them, they care a whole lot. So I just think that I hope she gets it together. I pray she gets it together. Um, I feel sorry for her son because the ultimatum he gave her, I don't think she's going to be able to live up to it, and that is going to hurt him more than it hurts her. Um, but at the same time, he's at an age where he has to understand that the drug is more powerful than her love for him. And as a child, I don't think I would be able to. I don't care at what age I am. I don't think I would be able to understand it. Period. Because my thing is, I love you, and in my mind, I would feel that I would pick you over the drugs. But if I'm not on drugs, we could never test that theory. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm right, Trisha. If she talked about you, you're getting your karma, and there's no sympathy for her. That's why celebrities really don't care. Because I don't even think that there's people you know, that she hasn't talked about. I mean, she's talked about all the housewives on every one of the franchises. She's talked about all the celebrities, even the ones she considers her friends. So, I mean, she talked about the Kardashians, then she made friends with them, but at the same time, with some of the shit she said about them, they still probably sitting back going, "Look at her, now she getting her karma." So, it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a double edged sword. Wendy, we hope you get better. We pray you get better, but that's something you gotta want for yourself. Because anybody can want anything, but if you don't want it for yourself, it'll never happen. Now, what else is happening out in this media these days? I knew about that. R. Kelly. You know what? I feel that it was about time he went to jail. We all knew from the first sex tape that he should have been locked the fuck up. But it just didn't happen at that time. Everything when it's supposed to happen will happen. Um, that's why I'm like, I've seen people in reports about, you know, it should have happened a long time ago. He was able to get away with it. I think now is when it was supposed to happen. Because if something is supposed to happen, it's going to happen regardless. But things happen when they're supposed to happen. So, I saw Surviving R. Kelly on TV, and of course, that's what prompted this whole investigation when the feds saw the television show and saw what these women had to say. And then they questioned them and dug deeper, and I think it's just making, but now you open the door because R. Kelly ain't the only one. I'm sure there's plenty more celebrities, black, white, whatever, that have done and are doing the same thing. I think that as a parent, you need to teach your little young daughters that, at some point, you have to make conscious decisions. You have to make decisions that are best for us. Just because, per se, Chris Brown want to see you in his room, don't mean that you go. What do you think you going back there for? What do you think you and some of these conversations are hard to have with your kids because you like at this day and age we live in a different day, a different time, a different everything. If you want to sit back and still act like it's 1985 or 1972 when you were growing up, and or 1990, where you can pussyfoot around and not tell your kids certain things, then you're going to be the one. Your daughter is going to be the next one locked up in some celebrity's room. You need to be real with your child and tell them the only reason why they want to go back to that room with you is because they want to fuck you. Now, if you ain't having sex with these little boys on the street, What make you think you gonna go have sex with a grown ass man? Cause I'm gonna fuck you up and I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm just letting you know straight up what's gonna happen when I find out. And those are the conversations that need to be had, and they need to be had like that. Hey Terry, and they need to be had like that because you need to be real with your kids. You can't pussyfoot around with sex and stuff like that like our parents did with us. First of all, I know what I was doing when I was 15, 16 years old. And of course, I wasn't doing it with girls, I was doing it with boys. So my thing is not telling them or thinking that they're so innocent that things are not going to happen. That's on you. That's on you. And these parents, every one of these girls' parents, the majority of them need to be arrested as well because they gave their kids up to R. Kelly. They were getting coins. They was getting money. If you think I'm gonna take money for you to molest my daughter, you done lost your ever loving goddamn mind. You done lost your motherfucking mind. If you think $50,000 is enough to let this for me to sit back and let you play in my daughter's little cuckoo, my little 13-year-old daughter, you done lost your motherfucking mind. And I don't know how to say that any other way. You done lost your motherfucking mind. These parents need to be sitting their ass in jail too. The ones that willingly took their kids and willingly let their daughters go, their ass need to be sitting in jail too. Now there are some parents involved that didn't know shit and their daughters were sneaking around and what have you. They can't be held accountable for that. Because your kids will sneak around. Hell, I snuck around and my mother didn't know where the fuck I was. But these parents that knew that was taking them to the studio and picking them up 2 days later or the next day or didn't see them after that, they asses need to be sitting in jail too. Everybody involved need to be sitting in jail with R. Kelly. Yes, he was the perpetrator, but all y'all helped him do that shit. All y'all helped him do that shit. He didn't do it on his own. He first of all, the nigga can't read, so he ain't that smart. The only thing he's a genius at is music, and I ain't gonna take that away from him. He is a musical genius. Yes, you will never be able to take that away from him. I don't care how long you lock him up. I don't care how you try to pretend he didn't exist. R. Kelly is a musical genius. Anything he touched went platinum and gold. It was just that was who he was. Period. That you can never take that away from that man. I don't care what he's done in this world. You can never take that away from him. But in the same breath, you can't what? Okay, that's fine. Can you give me water and ice? Or just give me actually just give me my Arizona. You can't take that away from him. You can't. His wife, you know what, Terry? His wife gives two different stories. First, she gives the story that she was locked in the room and she knew that he was with these other girls. Then she gives the story of she never knew what was what. So at this point, I don't know what to believe out of her lying ass mouth. I just know that she want money and she's going to do whatever it takes to get the money from him as long as she can. But now I'm sure her story will change again now that he ain't got no money because he's worth less than $2 million. If you Google it, it'll tell you R. Kelly is worth less than $2 million. So I don't. Hey Benito, I don't know. I she Terry, I don't know, because like when she tell her story, she tells a story about being locked in the room. She tells basically the same story that the girls tell, that she was locked up and she couldn't come out. And like when you watch Surviving R. Kelly, she basically kind of tells the same story as those girls were telling, but just on a different level. Because at some point she was able to come out and take care of their kids and things of that nature. So. I don't. Well, her, it's like I don't know. Well, her, I don't know. Right, Benito, she's a liar. She's a liar. Hey, Ashley, she's a liar, and I just her, you don't know what to believe, because 1 minute it's one thing, the next minute it's another thing. Then she got mad at Lifetime because she claims she didn't tell them whatever she said, and we all saw her say it. So I don't know what to believe out of her mouth. She just, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sure she was part of the plot to get some of them girls up to him and things of that nature. I know she was. I know she was. Um, but like I said, everybody involved in that needs to go to jail. And I had saw something that said R. Kelly started telling on Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri and all these other people. Yes, Ashley. And I'm not surprised because I know at some point he's going to start blowing the whistle on other people. But even if you tell on them, if nobody comes forth, there's not going to be an investigation. So you can sit and say whatever you want about them. But unless girls come forth and say this happened to me, like I was watching, um now I don't know how true this is, y'all, but I was watching T.S. Madison last night. And I was mad because actually she was in a restaurant in Hoboken, New Jersey, and me and Tremel used to stay in Jersey City. I was like, "Ooh, Tremel, if we still lived there, I would get up right now and go to that restaurant and meet her." But I'm watching the video, and somebody asked her in the comments, "Is she going to talk about Will and Jada?" We're going to talk about that next. About Will and Jada. Well, actually, we can talk about that now because y'all know it came up again that Will Smith did an interview and he said him and Jada have an open marriage. Why everybody's shocked, I don't know. They've said that a million thousand times, so I don't understand why it's a big deal. I really don't. Like nowadays, there are a lot of people that have open marriages, and it works for them. It won't work for me because I'm not sharing my husband with nobody. I'm just not. So I'm watching, and somebody asked T.S. Madison was she ever going to talk about the Will Smith interview, and a girl that was with her said that she had sex with Will while Jada watched. So everybody is gagging, including T.S. Madison, and everybody's like, "Huh, what?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, and Will is good, and Will did this, and he got staying power, and he's strong, and Jada sat there and watched and played with her puss, and I'm like, is this girl telling the truth or is she bullshitting? So the video went on for another like 10, 20 minutes. And if you see it, because Madison went live last night on Facebook. So if you watch the video where she's in Hook and Reel, I think that's the name of the restaurant, eating a seafood boil, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm waiting for this girl to like say that it's a joke. And she was serious. And I'm like, wow, like even Madison gagged. She was like, I don't even know what to say because I didn't know. And I would have had my questions together. And I'm just like, why would people be shocked by that? Because my thing is, if that's, first of all, when it comes to the entertainment industry, basketball players, football players, singers, songwriters, things of that nature, you would be a fool to think. You would be a fool to think that Jada Pinkett is not going to fuck other men. Like, come on. Men are always around her. Men are throwing themselves at her. Like, at what point? I mean, it's not normal people. It's not everyday average people. These are celebrities. And like you have to, if you marry a celebrity, if you involve with a celebrity, have to know that you are not going to be the only person. They're going to go away on vacation, not even vacations, but go away to film movies and make television shows, and you can't be there. So it's like I know I hear Boris Kudrow and Nicole Ari, I think that's her last name, talk about how whenever they're on set, they're together. But that has to be time consuming. And what if both of y'all are making a movie at the same time and she can't be with you or you can't be with her? I know they're doing it to make sure that the other one ain't. It ain't because you want to be there. I don't care what nobody says. It's not because you want to be there. It's because you want to make sure ain't nobody going after Boris, girl. Like, come on now, look at your husband. Plenty of men and women will throw themselves at Boris with not one piece of hesitation will give the pussy up to Boris and keep it moving. So ain't nobody no fool. You there to make sure that shit don't get out of control. And vice versa with her. She's a beautiful woman. I mean, come on. A man is going to want to give it to her just because. So I get it, but I'm not running down nobody like that. I'm not. And I agree that Will and Jada did the best thing that works for them because if I know this is what you're going to do, and if this girl is telling the truth, and Jada can sit there and watch and pleasure herself, and I'm sure it works the same way with Will. Because I know a lot of people who do open marriages and relationships want to be there. They want to have a certain level of control over it. So as long as you follow the rules, and we had a conversation with another married couple about that. As long as you follow the rules, I don't see where that would be a problem if it works for you. If you are not going to follow the rules, then that's when it becomes an issue. The rules being, well, this could only be a one time thing. Or because, see, my thing is going to be if me and Tramel agree to that and he's constantly with one person, that's going to piss me off. Because what is this one person got that you always want to be with him? Like, no, you going to be with a different person all the motherfucking time. Because you ain't going to be with the same bitch. Because, see, that's when feelings start getting involved. And see, then I might end up with the short end of the stick getting divorced while you want to marry this motherfucker. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. But I think that if rules are in place, if you willing to have an open relationship and the rules are followed and it works for you, I'm sure it will work. But if the rules are not followed and the rules are broken, then that's when it becomes a major situation and a problem. And I think in their situation, because like he getting mad, I am getting mad talking about it, Ashley, because I don't play that shit. I don't play that shit. I don't. Like, a lot of men on Facebook are just rude, period. They'll come in Tramel's inbox and he'll be, and the sad part is he shows me because he don't care. And I'll just be sitting there laughing like, he got a whole husband. Like it says he's married. He got a whole husband, but you bitches don't give a fuck. And half of them, I'll be laughing because I'm like, bitch, you can't even hold a candle to me. Look at you and look at me. Like, why would my husband want to fuck with you? At least look better than me or just as good. Like, damn, come on. And vice versa. When men come in my inbox, I'm like, child, don't you see I'm married? I tell them in a minute, I'm married. I have a husband. Oh, well, you thought wrong, bitch, because I don't do stuff like that. Right, right, Melissa. I just, but I see in their case, because they're celebrities, I'm okay with the decision that they made because it makes sense. Because if you're the person I love and you're the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, but we both know that we are going to encounter a lot of people that, and see, a lot of people can't wrap their mind around this because they think on the normal level, like just your everyday life. And in your everyday life, monogamous relationships work because everybody that's smiling in your face, you ain't got to smile back at them. But when you a celebrity and everybody's smiling in your face, it's like the temptation is so much greater than the average person that it makes sense to have an open relationship if the two parties agree. Now, if you get with somebody and don't tell them this is your plan and you wait till the last minute, then you got a problem. Because if this person never had an idea of having an open relationship or thought about it, now you done pissed them off because you done threw some shit in the game that they wasn't trying to do it. Y'all doing it where it should be happening. Y'all a solid kid. Right. Exactly, Melissa. Nobody So they be looking like gremlins and actually, yes, they do. Some of them, and they it just right when you have that foundation. Even if you have an open marriage, can't nobody penetrate it. Me and Tramel, when we got married, we said the only people that can mess up our marriage is us. Nobody can come in between our marriage but us. And we say that because a person can't come in between something if we don't let them. There can't be another man in my relationship if I don't let him in or Tramel don't let him in. So can't nobody ruin my relationship but me or Tramel. Can't nobody. Hey, Mina C. Can't nobody ruin our marriage but us. And I think Will and Jada, I think their foundation is strong. I think Will and Jada love each other to death. They are like the perfect power couple. And I don't think that even with them having an open relationship, they would let someone come in and destroy what it is that they have. Because one, they love their kids like, oh my God, the love for their children is like astronomical. And I think they see that being a problem as well. If Will and Jada got a divorce, believe me, it would be because they just could not coexist together anymore. It would have nothing to do with somebody infiltrating their marriage. It would just be because, you know, somebody it wouldn't be because somebody infiltrated it. It would just be because I'm sick of you, you're sick of me, and let's just go our separate ways. Because that's just how they come across. Let's put it this way. That's how they come across when you see them on TV or you see them on Red Table Talk. That's how they come across to me. So I feel like their foundation is strong. And I feel like because their foundation is strong, no matter what happens in their relationship with other people, that won't be the cause to break them up. That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel because I'm married and I know that, like I said, me and Tramel, before we got married, said, can't nobody break up our marriage but us. And meaning the only way somebody could break up our marriage is if we allow them in. Can't nobody break up your relationship. Can't nobody break up your marriage. Can't nobody break up nothing that you have with somebody unless you or the other participant let them. And that means by smiling in their face. That means by sneaking away with them. That means by having private conversations. All that stuff that you know damn well you shouldn't be doing, but you're doing. You're the reason why the relationship is breaking up, not the other person. Not the other person. Because me and Tramel love watching Cheaters on Saturday morning and sitting there going, boy, if you ever did that to me, I'd bust you up. The thing that gets me with Cheaters is they want to blame the person that called, or they leave with the person they cheating with. That, oh my God. If you left me when I busted you cheating with the other person, oh, don't ever think about coming back to get your stuff. Don't even think about it, because I would wear you out by the time you came back to that house. I don't know how people do it. I just don't know how people do it. I ain't built like that. I'm not. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not built like that. I'm not built for that. I'm not built for that. I'm not built like that. I can't. I can't. Like, it's too much. It's too much for me. It's way too much. I can't. I'd rather you just come and leave me and tell me it ain't working no more. Let me be sad and distraught and go do your thing. I had an ex that did that to me. He was like, well, I asked him, why did he want to be with me? And he couldn't give me a reason. So then I asked him, why didn't he want to be with me? And he gave me like 1,000 reasons. So I was like, oh, is this what we doing? This how we doing this? Okay. So, he moved his stuff into the guest bedroom because I told him get out of my bedroom. It was my damn house. And I'm sorry, y'all. I needed to have a little sip of my iced tea. It was in the freezer, so it's nice and slushy. So the day that we did that and he moved into the guest bedroom, he left out of the house and didn't come back. Hey, Skywalker. Oh, Skywalker, yes. Cheetahs is the, like, you sit there and you be gagging at some of the people. But he left and didn't come back. So when he came back home, even though technically we broke up, I was furious. I was like, so you mean to tell me you've been fucking somebody all this time? And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, he's like, what are you talking about? I said, first of all, we just broke up. Where the hell you had to go that you stayed out all night long and we just broke up? Well, no. And then, of course, it ensued into this big argument. And I'm like, that was a hard pill to swallow. It's like I knew in my spirit, I ain't gonna lie, in my spirit, I knew there was somebody else. I knew because it would just be times when I would come home from work and he was like overly happy and playful. And I'm like, nah, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I would joke and say, oh, you must have saw your other boyfriend today. And he would look at me like I was crazy. But I'm like, you ain't never this happy and joyful, and you know, something ain't right. And then one time I came home and my basement smelled like dirty ass. And I'm like, who did you have in my house? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, you had somebody in this basement and y'all was having sex because I smell it in the air. And if these dogs could talk, they tell me. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But again, he was overly happy and playful. So in my spirit, I knew there was somebody else. I knew there was, but I didn't have proof. And then, even though we had broke up, I got a text message. This was back when flip phones. So I never really sent text messages because I hate having to press 4 times just to get one letter. So something when I got this text message from somebody and I saw that all the text messages that I had ever received on the phone, I said, hmm. So I played the next day like I didn't feel good because it was my day to walk the dogs. And I was like, could you walk the dogs? Because I really don't feel well. It was in the morning. And I was like, I really don't feel well. And blah, 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 blah. So he was like, okay. So he got up and walked the dogs. And in my spirit, I was like, please leave your phone. So he left his phone and we had the same phone. So I went in his text messages. Baby, I found all these text messages from the other boy. I had lost my ever loving mind. So I call a bitch, right? And the bitch picked up the phone. Hey, baby. I was like, oh, bitch, this ain't baby. This is baby's baby. And what you need to do, bitch, is get a motherfucking U-Haul and come get this motherfucker. And you want my problem, bitch? You and me don't have a problem. But we will have a problem if my problem ever finds its way back to my doorstep. So I'm giving you my problem. You can have it because I don't want it no more. Just get that U-Haul, come pick up my problem, take it and keep it because I don't want it no more. That bitch ain't know what to say. He ain't know what to do. So of course, when he came back with the dogs, I was like, I called you a bitch. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, oh, I called you bitch. I was like, and I told your little bitch to come get my problem. What do you mean? I said, I told him to come rent a U-Haul and come get my problem and remove it. And the only way him and me have a problem is if my problem ever finds its way back to my doorstep. You're my problem. And you can go. So of course he started fighting me on he's not leaving. He's been paying part of the mortgage. I said, well, where you gonna live for free? Sue me. Sue me. And let's go to court. And you make a court tell me that I can't charge you rent. I said, this is rent, bitch. We ain't together no more. This is rent. So long story short, he went to move out. But in my spirit, I knew he was leaving that day. So I didn't go to work. So I'm home and he shows up with his little best friend. And the best friend was already knew I was crazy. So the dude came. And I was sitting on the couch making sure nothing that was mine left up out of there. So when the dude came and he saw me on the couch, he didn't want to come in. I said, I appreciate you wanting to respect me while I'm home, but you done been all up and through my house when I wasn't here. So, like I told you on the phone, come get his stuff and get it out of my house. Long as you don't take nothing that belongs to me, we good. So he wouldn't come in. They kept bringing him stuff to the door, but he wouldn't come in. Hey Monte, I was like, it was a lot for me. I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot for me. And then when he gave me the key, I was hurt because we had been together for like almost 2 years. I was hurt. I was hurt. I ain't even gonna lie, I was hurt. But you know what came through my head? When him and I met and he moved in with me, the guy that he lived with at the time, I found it odd that me and him could look like we could come from the same tribe. And he was sitting there with this look on his face like, I don't believe this bitch brought him here. He told me they were roommates. But then when I was put in the same place as the guy that I helped him move out of his house, I said, oh my God, he did the same thing to him. And he lied to me and told me this was his room because the guy looked like he wanted to fuck me up. And for the life of me, I'm like, I don't, you told me it was a roommate. In my mind, I'm not thinking y'all were together. You told me y'all wasn't together. So, I'm not thinking that they together or was together. But I'm looking at the guy's looking at me like he wanted to kick my ass. So I'm like, being put in the situation, I said, this motherfucker did the same thing to the other dude. I was like, oh, so this is MO. Okay. Like it all flashed back to when I helped him move out. And I was like, well, karma's a bitch. That's all I could say. But at the same time, I'm like, well, karma can't really get me if I didn't know. And I didn't know. I'm going by what you said. I thought it was a little fishy. I did. And I said, you sure y'all ain't fucking? No, 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 no. We're roommates. I don't like him like that. But then when I got there and saw that the guy kind of looked like me, I'm like, okay, it was a little weird. And then when I saw the way he was looking at me, like he wanted to fight me, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. So, child, sometimes you just gotta be. That's why when people say, oh, you can't marry somebody right away, you gotta get to know them. Child, you could be with somebody 10 years and still not know who they really are. Because they'll sit and pretend and pretend and pretend. You say, I do, honey, and then the devil comes out himself. So if in your heart you feel like you're ready to take a step, get in a relationship, get married, I say do it. Cause I don't care if you wait 5, 6, 7, 10 years to do it. You really never know a person until you know a person. I mean, it's just what it is. It just really is what it is. I mean, hopefully the person ain't lying and playing games, but there are plenty of people out there that will play a game with your ass and pretend for long periods of time, and you gag when you find out who they really are. You like, but I've been with him for 10 years. Or I've been with her for 10 years and they never, showed signs of schizophrenia. And then all of a sudden they move in or you say I do. And then all of a sudden this bitch become the most craziest person on the planet. So I just say, honey, pray about it. Tell the Lord to give you a sign and go with whatever Jesus do, honey. Cause, that's like people told me in Tremel, why y'all getting married so fast? Y'all don't know each other no more. And we didn't. I mean, the person I was when me and Tremel first met was not the person I was when we met back up 18 years later. And same thing, he wasn't the same person I knew from 18 years ago. But in my spirit, I knew I was making the right decision. In my spirit, I just knew, like, it was crazy because, my sister, she's gone. She had to go back to work, but she was here. I just knew. It was like 2017, like the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. I just kept saying, I'm getting married. And my sister was like, you don't even. I said, girl, I know I don't have a boyfriend. I ain't even seeing nobody. I said, but I'm telling you, I am getting married. I said, I'm going to get married in 2018. And she was looking at me like I was crazy. And the feeling was just so overwhelming. It was like, I can't even explain it to y'all. It was like if I went to the front door and opened the door, a man would be standing there to marry me, or like love would be like right at the door. And it was driving me insane. Like when I tell you it was like driving me people thought I was crazy. People really thought I was losing my mind because I kept saying, I'm getting married. I'm getting married. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm getting married. And they like I said, it's gonna be in 2018. I was like, y'all don't understand. I said, I'm telling y'all, I said, it's just this overwhelming feeling that I have. I'm getting married. And I'm like, and my sister was like, Joe, you need to go see somebody because you're crazy. And like it was just, oh my god, it was just, it was only thing I can say, it was like, I felt like I was going crazy. I did, I felt like I was going crazy because it was like, it was just in me. It was like, oh my god, like it was crazy. Like I felt like I was going crazy, to be honest, and I'm telling you the truth. I felt like I was being going crazy. And then when I was watching Tremel, like he says he used to watch me on Facebook all the time and see my posts and get jealous because I said I was going out with a man. And I never saw anything Tremel was putting on Facebook. Never ever did he come up on my timeline. This one particular day, I'm in my room and I'm looking at my phone and Tremel made this video and I was like, oh shit, it's Tremel. I didn't really honestly even know we were friends on Facebook, to be honest with you. And I was like, oh shit, that's Tremel. So I'm watching the video and he's talking about how he's old now and he's an old man and life is different and he sees things different. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I was like, well, how old is Tremel? Because I was about to turn 48 in 2 days. So I'm like, well, how old is Tremel? Well, damn, how old was he when we were dating? Because I couldn't remember. So I hit him. I left a message. I sent him a private message. I said, "Hey Tremel, how you doing? It's Joseph." I was like, "I saw your video today." I said, "How old are you?" Because I forgot what our age difference was. And he hit me back and said, Can I video chat you?" I said, "Sure you can." So he called me on FaceTime Messenger. And when he saw me, he was like, "Oh my God, you look just the same." I said, "Well, you do too." He said, "No, I don't. I look like an old man, but you look exactly the same." So we were talking or whatever, and he was like, we were just really talking and just kind of reacquainting ourselves with each other. And I said, "What are you doing today?" He was like, "Nothing." I said, "Well, you want to go out for lunch or whatever?" And he was like, "Sure." I said, "All right, I'll come get you." So he gave me his address because he was like, "I'm staying with my mom because I just moved back to Jersey." I said, "Oh, well, I'm staying with my uncle because I just moved back to Jersey." When I drove there, because I didn't go at first, I drove and he came outside to get me. When I looked at Tremel, everything from 18 years ago came flooding back to me. Like it was just the next day from the last time I saw him. So in my mind, I said, they told you don't fall under that spell of Tremels that you fell under before. You can't. You can't. Don't let Tremel get you like he got you before. And it was funny because in my head I'm laughing. So he took me upstairs. He introduced me to his mom, my mother-in-law now, and we went back downstairs and we actually went and got something to eat and went back to my uncle's house and we were talking and like he was just telling me like he got it back then when we dated and I've like it just really warmed my heart that like finally somebody got who I was as a person. And he was like, "I thought you hated me," because I was like, "Why would I hate you?" I said, "I left because I didn't want to be around you to spare my heart. It had nothing to do with what you did. I only respected you because you told me the truth." I said, "But I left because one, I felt like I needed to leave, not because of just you, but because that's where my life was taking me. And two, because I didn't want to, I know me and I latch on to people that I love. I said, and I was falling in love with you. So I left because if I wasn't around you, I can't keep falling in love with you. I said, it had nothing to do with hating you. Why would I hate you? I said, I don't hate you. You didn't hurt me. I was like, you were honest with me and you told me you wanted to think about it. And that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear. So I did what I wanted to do. I said, to protect me. It had nothing to do with you. It was to protect me. So we had this conversation. The week progresses. He spends my birthday with me. And that Friday came. And when Tramel asked me to marry him, I'm sitting there like, this is why I felt like I was getting married. So in my mind, it was not a question of yes or no or too soon. It was like, I knew it. This is what I was feeling. This is the feeling that I was feeling. This is what it was. Like in the inside, I'm like, this is what it was. This is what I felt. This is what I knew. And it was like, it made everything that I was feeling come together for me because it was like a feeling of you feeling like you're crazy and then bang, somebody says, marry me. And you like, oh my God, this is what I was feeling. This is what and I did it. I said yes. And right, Ashley, when we love, child. And if we don't get away from it, it'll pull us in. And I cried, of course, because he got down on one knee. I was sitting on the side of the bed and he's telling me he loved me and he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. And this time he's not going to let me get away. And I'm sitting there boo-hooing like a little girl. And I said yes. And then I proposed to him. And it was just a crying mess. But I say that to say that it's been a learning process these last going on, 18, 19, 21, 4 years. It's going on. It's been a process to 4 years because the process of dating and getting to know someone, we did it being married. And because we love each other so much and we want it to work, when we have conversations, we fight, we argue. I'm not going to say fight because we don't physically fight, but we argue and it's real heated. You got a Sagittarius and the Aries. That's two fire signs. It's a very heated argument. And we listen to each other, though. I listen after we calm down. I listen to what he says. He listens to what I say, and we make adjustments. Sometimes we agree to disagree. Sometimes Tramel will tell me, Joseph, you reaching, and I'll tell him, well, you reaching too. And we still are conscious of making it fit, making it right for each other. And honestly, I think that's what made this work because if we just was in it for the hoopla and saying we were married, believe me and Tramel would have been divorced probably the first year we were married. And that's no lie. Because we have had some serious arguments. And it's been about nothing. Honestly, it's been about nothing. It's really been about nothing. It's nothing major. Like when it's something major, honestly, we can sit down and have a conversation about it and come to a solution. And that's the part we both laugh at. I said, Tramel, do you notice when we have an issue that's major, we can sit down and have a conversation and come to a solution. I said, then when it's petty bullshit, you and me being here arguing like we two niggas in the street. And he was laughing. He said, I noticed that. I said, why is that? Why is that when it's something major and serious, we can really come together, you know, sit down, have a conversation. Nobody's raising voices. We're understanding what each other is saying. And, we come to a solution to fix the issue. I said, but when it's some okey doke bullshit, we in here yelling and screaming and throwing shit and arguing and screaming at the top of our lungs. I said, it don't make sense. I said, we don't make sense. We act childish over stupid shit. So, and honestly, we working on that. We have worked on that. And we were talking about it the other day. I think this whole thing with me falling, every time there's a situation, and normally, like I told you yesterday, most of the situations have been with me, it brings us closer together. It really does. It brings us closer together as and I'm not going to say that it should, but it should bring you closer together, not tear you apart. Because as much as I hate asking Tramel to do stuff for me, or I hate Like, can you go get me this? Can you go get me that? Tramel does it with no complaint. And, you know, I'm just the type of person, I don't want to depend on nobody. I don't, that's just who I am as an Aries. We don't depend on nobody. We make shit happen for ourselves one way or another. It's going to happen. And in this situation, I can't do that. So I have no choice but to sit back and say, can you do this? Can you do that? Please. And, any cracks in the foundation, but y'all still need. Right, 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 Melissa. Exactly right. Because ain't no two people gonna be together and not have arguments. That's just realistic. That's just life. No two people are going to be together and not have arguments. If you have brothers and sisters, you show me a pair of siblings that ain't never argued, and I'll show you a $500 bill because there ain't many. There ain't any. Because two people are always going to find something to disagree about. So we just, get through it and keep it moving. In all honesty, we just get through it and keep it moving. I love him. He loved me. He ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Because that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's the way it was ordained. And, that's that, y'all. So we had a good conversation today about Wendy Williams, R. Kelly, Will and Jada. Like I said, it was Friday. So it was no major thing. Just we was talking about a lot of different things. And thank all of you for spending an hour with me today. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We really do. No, I haven't seen Tramel in a while because he's been at work. My working husband. See, that's another thing. He does what a man is supposed to do. And I love it. I was going to be working too, but I fell. So that I had to put my job search on hold. So, everything in its time. Everything in its time. And, it is what it is. But yeah, that's why y'all haven't seen Tramel because he's been at work. He's off tomorrow and Sunday, so he might go live tomorrow or Sunday just to say hello. And I will be keeping y'all company. I'm glad, Melissa. I'm glad you caught it too, boo. And y'all, I need y'all to be strong and make sure y'all are following us on all social media platforms. You know what they are: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. And if you want to be a king or a queen at the TheMKingz Roundtable, please feel free to hit that join button. And if you don't see the join button, the link is in the description box. You can hit the link and you can join and become a king or queen at our roundtable. Also, make sure you check out the TheMKingz boutique for everything Kingz and Dare to Be Different. We have a host of new items and shirts and hats and masks. So if you haven't been there in a while, please go check it out because I'm sure you're going to see something that interests you that you are going to like. Jamel has made a bunch of different t-shirts with different sayings, and they are cute, they are funny, and he's actually in the process of making even more. So, y'all, I want y'all to enjoy your weekend. I want you to have the best Friday ever. And I want you to have the best weekend ever because I said so. And if nobody tells you they love you today, just know that I do, and there is nothing you can do about it. And with that being said, I want you all, I say repeat after me because you already know what I'm going to say. It's Team McRae all damn day. See you later, y'all. Love you.